You're welcome back. It is Protea Hotel by Marriott and Teve as our sponsor. Now, I'd already given you a preamble about what we're going to discuss today, and according to party spokesperson of FDC, Ibrahim Semujunganda, Nandala and the company brought billions of shillings into the party during 2021 general elections and refused to disclose its source. Now, he said it was the money that was used to make large purchases, including cars that were used in the 2021 general elections. And today in studio, I'm joined by Honorable Gerald Siranda, Member of Parliament, EALA, and Secretary General of the Democratic Party, just to see, and member of IPOD as well, just to, help us paint a picture of what is happening in the FDC party and other parties in general. You're very welcome, Honorable.
Thank you so much, and very appreciative.
Okay.
This is my maiden appearance in this very powerful television, and I want to appreciate the Lord Almighty for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I greet you viewers out there and democratic loving Ugandans.
You are a DP member, but I believe you have heard what is happening in FDC. What do you make of it? I
am active member of the Democratic Party. I am the Secretary General of the Democratic Party. What the FDC is facing, I'm already facing similar things within my party. The difference is that the Democratic Party is being nurtured and mentored to go through such problems. This is not the first time we're seeing that. You know that DP has been here for over 65 years.
Yeah.
There was a problem between Ben Kiwanuka then and Basil Bataringaya, who was the leader of opposition in the House. We had a problem between Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogerere and then Tiberio Kane. We had problems between Sevana Chizito and the group of Dr. Rumebaiga. There were breakaway within the party. The former SG Wenje. We've had issues, but how do you harmonize and work out of this? Our multi-party dispensation is a growing multi-party after coming out of abeyance. We're just starting political parties. We have challenges of the founder syndrome and power bases. The challenges I was telling you of DP, there was a leader of opposition. That was a power base in Tiberio, Basil Bataringaya. There was a party leader who was Ben, and sometimes people that are in parliament are disjointed from those that run political party headquarters. And yet we're supposed to work in tandem. The political party headquarters is supposed to be the control tower. So that when you're flying a plane up, there is a control tower, and you cannot, the pilot cannot pick signals from more than 2 control towers. One of the challenges we have in the FDC is that when Dr. Besje left the leadership of the party, he went and created another office. He was out of party politics, but actively involved in the running of multiple politics and control of the party. This is a party that had been built around him as a person. So there was a base in Katonga, then you had a base under the leader of opposition in the House. Now you had also another base at Najjanankumbi. Came time when there was Mugisha Muntu and all that team. So came time some people that were leading the House, the Honorable Nandala and the team, then were under Dr. Besje. Finally, they came and took control over the party. They went to Najjanankumbi, and I think they started seeing that the direction of the party is within. But there is no safe party in Uganda for now. Even the NRM has
the NRM is a very safe party.
No, allow me to explain to you. The NRM also has now the office of the national chairman.
There are no divisions in NRM.
There are the office of the national chairman, Chambogo, another power base. You have the Honorable Richard
No, that is because it's a big party.
Yeah, that's what you can think. There is the Honorable Richard Odwong. In Chadondo 10, you have the president alone. You have the MK. You know, you have members of parliament that believe in this. Then they are with MK. So the only thing that NRM survives on is that they are beneficiary of the machinery of the state. When NRM became a party from the NRMO, they inherited all the LC structures and they became the NRM. So that's one of the biggest advantages that you cannot undermine. The political party dispensation in Uganda is facing a challenge of people do not want to sit and harmonize. I believe that the issues of the FDC, if they had sat in-house, first take away the media, they have the parameters. Through the processes of IPOD, all of us were in position, and FDC ran faster to even develop a policy on reconciliation. I believe that the party structures, the framers of the constitution of the FDC, have a way of how to harmonize this thing. This is a party that has led the opposition for 3 consecutive terms. 2006 when Omani Party returned, 2011, 2016. It has a direct implication to the existence of Omani Party growth and the IPOD. And within the IPOD framework, we've issued a statement calling upon calmness. We understand there are contradictions.
To the FDC?
Yes, we've written to the FDC president, we have written to the FDC SG, and we have written to the spokesperson of the FDC. Okay. Because by the MOU of IPOD, the president of the FDC, Patrick Oboy Amuriat, is the member of Summit. The Honorable Nathan Nandara Mafavi is a member of council, therefore the leader of the FDC team in the IPOD council. The Honorable Semuju Ibrahim Nganda is a member of council as the whip, because all the whips in the house are members of the IPOD council.
Yes.
So within that spirit, we believe that this big party that has been proven in terms of leadership 3 consecutive terms, it has something to offer. We cannot look at the FDC crumble, but we also appreciate that there might be internal contradictions. But as political party dispensation, we believe that the parties can have space in terms of growth. We believe that when parties are not settled, then they cannot contribute in terms of the bigger table of the platform, because we are a platform of parties, so we come up with ideas. Then we join efforts to fight the challenges of Uganda. If we are bickering within, then we don't have space to think about where to go.
Okay.
I also believe that a lot of the things, like I said, founder syndrome. In DP, there are people who say, Chibina Chava Jaja. They don't know where your Jaja is, they don't know where you've been, so they think that, you know, they still have a veto and say. In the FDC, the formation of FDC itself, it was, first of all, when Dr. Besige came, he did not want to form a different party. He came with an idea of reforming the NRM under the reform agenda. And then there was a combination of PAF, the Parliamentary Advocacy Forum, a combination of many people who even were NRM and all those. So eventually they ended up forming a party. So it is very important that we also define clear and clarity on the ideology that our political parties are built on.
Okay.
But for me, by and large, is that we have created a bigger picture of Museveni, the president, painted it. Whoever wants to threaten his kids who are not eating food or who are say, you know, so we cannot continue to hang around building a scarecrow in President Museveni. Even when I'm moving with you and my car gets stuck around Sheraton, they will say I'm from Sing Museveni. You know? So we have built politics around the fear for President Museveni.
Now that's because NRM is a good party. It does not have any issues. And you know, when a family has issues, it shouldn't bring them out in public. Honorable Ibrahim Semuju Nganda did that. He brought that dirty linen out in public. And is that right?
Everybody has got their own way of nurturing. And I am telling you that every time you don't have space to do this engagement, you undermine whatever space that you have. I think that we cannot continue to paint a lot of our challenges to NRM. But in any other world, where a leader has stayed to power, just as President Museveni, he becomes the system. See what happened in Zimbabwe. Was the same thing. Everything was Mugabe. When in the era of Moi, everything was around Moi. Yesterday in DRC, everything was around Kabila. You know, in Sudan, it was around...
Basically, in African countries.
So when a leader stays in power, every time we fail to have a structure to do harmonize, we run to that leader. But of course, 90%, we are in a multi-party dispensation. Who is the president of Uganda? President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. What we need to do is to allow the proper functionality of a multi-party dispensation. I agree that there might be issues, but this is not the first time. I know that the Honorable Nandala was telling you, he has been contributing the monies to the party.
Yeah.
And I run a party. I'm at a centerpiece of running the party. I have seen people bringing the cars, comparing the cars we had and the Nobel, comparing. And even what makes me, wonder is that even people who were at the center stage at the pivotal role of running our presidential election also now are questioning this thing, even when they knew that we would reach somewhere and would even fail to manage a campaign team. So for me, in Uganda, a person who sees you and wants to undermine you, when you look good, they say, we have reduced the question of a dispensation.
But is that true or not? Because we remember DP also, your party president is now a leader in the government, current government.
We agree. And this is not the first president.
Democratic Party has also had its own share of divisions, with Honorable Nambozes being the other side and you people being this other side.
That's why I tell you that we have gone through these processes and we should be consulted on how do we manage and we continue existing.
Really?
I have given you the history, not only from Norbert Mao, from Ben Kiwanuka. We have had issues because our party was built not to believe in political untouchability. We have had our own issues. Even now, we still have a group of members that think we took a wrong policy direction. But we believe that our things within the DP are on black and white. The cooperation agreement we signed is on black and white. It's a policy position of the party. We went to the joint parliamentary group with the National Executive Committee. We developed a policy. We agreed that we either go to cooperate in power. This is not the first time. When we did the reunion, we brought Chagulanyi and all the team through People Power that we founded. It became a party. We went to TDA, supported TDA. We spent 700 million shillings building for the unity within the opposition. 700 million shillings for the party. Nobody criticized that. So there is nowhere it is written that we shall only cooperate with the people in the opposition. Our areas are 4. And whoever does not believe in our areas, let them present theirs. We are talking about peaceful transition of power. We are talking about national reconciliation. We are talking about national unity. We are talking about the rebirth of a new constitution through a constitutional review commission to fit all our dispensation and whatever go through to the current times. Whoever thinks Wewe is the solution, let them pursue the line of Wewe. At the end of the day, we shall meet.
Why is it bad for NRM to fund these political parties? You keep mentioning that peaceful transition of power. It's not yet time for that. It's not. Is it bad for NRM to say?
When will it be right time?
No. At the end of an era will come.
What is that era?
But for now, we are still going on with this era. Preparation.
It should be intentional.
No. It's like you're saying our president is not worthy anymore.
No, I am not saying that he's not worthy. I am saying that any country that is serious should start talking about preparation. And I believe that we don't want to go through a time bomb. And I am telling opposition, and this one I keep mentioning, we may end up the way Zimbabwe ended up. We are fighting Mugabe must go. Time will come and God will take Mugabe. What will happen?
So you don't see any able leader that can go into
They are, but we must be intentional in preparation. If you even fear to engage the president, then you have a problem.
But is it bad for NRM to fund other political parties?
NRM cannot fund the political parties.
Why not? Because it has money.
It doesn't know.
Other political parties that don't have that kind of money.
NRM is
government has money.
There is a difference between NRM and government.
Yeah, but it's the ruling.
And I want you to differentiate that. There is a difference between the ruling party and the party and the government.
Yeah.
Don't mix the two.
But NRM is in government.
No, it's just in government. And it can collapse, but government can continue to exist. I don't want you to misuse the state apparatus, the state machineries. I want NRM to collapse like yesterday, but I don't want the state to collapse.
Okay.
I want NRM to collapse like yesterday, but I don't want the state to collapse. Because even when I come to power, I will still sentence people using the same apparatus. I will sign death sentence. I will have the police.
So if you came to power, if Democratic Party came to power, you're not going to work with NRM and other parties.
We will make sure that all multi-party dispensation freely operates because they can enrich. This is a multi-party dispensation government. We do not want to kill the political parties. We went to a referendum in 2005 and Ugandans agreed that we will go to the multi-party dispensation. And there are parameters on how we can work. There is alliance, there is merger, but you can also cooperate. We are only coming together to think that this is the Uganda we want. The Democratic Party is working as a bridge. The bridge is the smallest part of the road. But if it is spoiled, you can even cut off and stay there for weeks. We believe that Uganda is like a bridge. And we believe that we can have plan B, but we don't have country B.
True.
We can have plan B, but we don't have country B. And we believe that any political dispensation in this country is critical that we think about it and how it is working. These are signs that we want to see how FDC will walk out of this. We believe that the FDC has proper parameters. We believe that they have structures in place. We call upon the goodwill for them to harmonize these issues and work out stronger, because they are a very strong party.
We have groups in FDC. We have Engineer Patrick Amuria Toboy. We have Nandela Mafabi on one side, Secretary General. We have Ibrahim Semujunganda. We also have the Lukwagos and Doreen Nyanjura on the other side. Whose side are you on?
I am on the side of the FDC.
That can't be possible.
No, I am on the side of the FDC. I have been at the center stage of chaos within the party. I know what the people that sit at the headquarters are going through. You know? I believe that for now, the FDC can kill all the other power bases and build the party first. And I believe that there are leaders in place. But we also must be very careful. There are people, if you track their record, everywhere they have been is chaos and fighting. And I see some within the FDC.
Give us examples.
No, I see some in the FDC. When they were in DP, chaos. And they said we are bad. They left DP, started several platforms, chaos. Now they left that, they are in the FDC. I believe the FDC will have capacity to contain those people so that they fit within the structure. There are people in this country who think they are bigger than every institution. And they think that they are the institution. That, I cannot accept that. We cannot criticize Museveni, President Museveni, for doing wrong, and we want to give the same thing. You cannot give what you don't have. We have people in this country who think every institution they go, they should be bigger and the institution should succumb to them. I am encouraging the FDC that they have structures in place, they are a serious party, they have had elders, let them harmonize within the parameters of the party. They have the structures to do that. And I believe that as IPOD, we are encouraging that FDC sits down within their parameters and they harmonize. At the end of the day, we want FDC to come out strongly in these processes. And all those that are funding groups, sitting press conferences, they should be encouraging everybody to come and sit at press conference so that they do harmonization. So that we don't have factions and within. That is how we can come out with a very strong FDC. And it's not the FDC alone. We are talking about FDC, we have these same things in DP, we have the same things in UPC, and there are these same things in NRM.
Apart from NRM.
Anyway, they are the things in NRM.
What would Dr. Besigye's role be in all this as a leader who has been there for some time?
Is for me, Dr. Besigye should use his clout, should use the time he's invested in FDC to try to make sure that he's not sided with any. The only thing he can do for now is to be looked at as a neutral person. So that people don't think he's the one that's siding with this, because we know history has it that he backed Amuria to come to office.
Yeah.
He backed Nandala to come to the office.
Yeah.
So these are people that he has worked with. So he has all it takes to appreciate that he grows and changes into a new Besigye, now a figurehead father, the founder of the party, the founding president of the party, who commands respect from both sides. But as long as people view him as one who has one side that believes in Katonga, that believes in civil disobedience and all that line, we cannot run a political institution going to the road. We run a political institution with a structure and parameters. So the Dr. Besigye and the world everywhere is looking at him, and we have trust that he is going to help this party. I have seen in the papers that he's calling press conference to address report of the elders.
Yeah. We've
seen Lord Mayor and the group calling press conferences. Those don't help the party. We are playing in the gallery. We must come on the pitch of play. And for me, how I wish a press conference like that is called at Najana Nkumbi, to harmonize, so that people who think it's going to be tantrums now will be surprised that it's calling upon unity and working together. Even this is what you want to do. You know the elders. You know the chairman, Dr. Frank Nawiso. Very solid individual. Reach out to Nawiso and those, and what was this? Instead of responding through a press conference. I believe for me that the FDC has the opportunity, a very rare opportunity for them to rebrand and come out of this process.
Maybe they should get some advice from General Museveni as well, because as an NRM party leader, he has handled things very well.
President Museveni has a lot on his table. Don't even go there, because anytime Museveni falls aside, there is no NRM. Museveni is the NRM.
No. We have people in
Museveni,
we have Kasile Lumumba,
President Museveni,
we have Babalanda, we have very many people.
President Museveni is the NRM.
Have many people in
No.
NRM.
You wait.
All right.
What is in your house there? Let us focus on what is here.
IPOD
because that is the party I'm partnering with in our own arrangement. I don't want to discuss
exactly.
it. I don't want to discuss it, but I can discuss it if I am talking about the IPOD because it has a role. It is the party in power.
Yes, I would like to ask you what's the role of IPOD in all this? You guys wrote to FDC as if in your own parties you don't have issues.
No, we have had issues in DP and the IPOD has come up to ask for meetings with us. There's time the Honorable Segona was running around that he was the SG. The IPOD
of
offered,
Democratic Party?
Yes, the IPOD offered them space. We have had issues in UPC. The IPOD is offered them space between even before the late Bossa and the team. We've had issues in all these parties, and the IPOD comes up to offer space. There was a time the SG of NRM then, and then the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Tanga, had issues. The IPOD came up, serious issues that they wouldn't see eye to eye. The IPOD came up because the IPOD will always respond, because IPOD can only be stronger if these political parties are stronger. Then they can come and contribute to the bigger vision of Uganda. Otherwise, if we don't do that, the moment we come in IPOD, then we start talking about internal party politics. Then we lose the bigger vision. The vision of the IPOD is to see the growth of multi-party dispensation across Uganda, and by putting Uganda first. Irrespective of the colors, irrespective of the ideology, we believe there is one ideology that Uganda must exist and peacefully, and Uganda must work for all.
So what does the statement say? The one you wrote to, the one IPOD wrote to FDC?
The statement of the IPOD, first of all, was appreciating that we understand that people, wherever they are, they can be contradiction. It was also appreciating that the FDC has played a key role. It's been a key member, a key founding member of the IPOD. It has led the opposition. It is also appreciating that they are concerned, but it is also pointing to them that they are like bedrock for multi-party dispensation. It is appreciating and encouraging the structures of FDC that has dealt with these issues. These issues did not start today.
True.
You remember, right way from 2012, but they have had how they have handled these issues. The statement is also encouraging them to leave the newsroom and get back to trying to harmonize. The statement is asking them to look at the structures within the parameters of their party for them to walk out of this process stronger. Basically, the statement is calling upon harmony, is calling upon dialogue, is calling upon conflict resolution within.
But it can't be possible because these people are angry at each other. We're seeing Ibrahim Semuju attacking Honorable Nandala Mafabi and Honorable Elias Lukwago. And then we're seeing also Nandala saying, no, it should be Semuju and Lukwago, who should be questioned on the sources of their funds, arguing that the duo used a lot of money for their re-election in 2021.
That's what the IPOD is calling upon, that they can meet themselves together, tear up themselves within the room, and at the end of the day, they will be wounded, but they will come out stronger. Maybe they are talking about the same thing, but how they pass the message is where the difference is. And you know, I have never seen audit world over. I do accountability. I'm the accounting officer to my party. There are many things. Even this church house, we know we had issues of the entire
Let's
the
not
building.
go there.
You know, what I'm saying that all our houses, sometimes we don't even have titles. They are somewhere, but we find means to exist, but also appreciate that I have this obligation to fulfill. For me, the obligation is to Uganda, is to the members of the FDC. We are just custodians of these parties, but they are owners of the parties. And so for me, I think that the tantrums and press conferences and name calling cannot help the FDC now, just like it has not helped DP. But appreciating that we are a party and tomorrow we will come and we will live. For me, that's a legacy we should be building.
Is it bad for, I asked this question and you didn't give us a good answer. Is it bad for NRM to give money to other parties like FDC, especially for elections?
How?
Especially for elections, to help them in elections.
How? The NRM itself cannot even fund its councillors down on the village, and you're saying, you differentiate these two. Differentiate the campaign strategy for President Museveni and the NRM. That's where you're getting wrong. There's a difference between NRM candidate person and the party. We have seen the NRM offices being locked, complaining that they're not paid. And you're in the media, I expect you to know that better than me. But that's not what we are discussing.
Those are misunderstandings.
No, that's not what we are discussing. For me, if the party has taken decision that this is where we want to get the money, why do we think that only NRM money can be bad? There are people who have a lot of money within our parties and can just decide to disorganize the whole structure. It's not about there is bad money from NRM. There can be bad money within our political parties. There are sources of a person who will come and will disorganize the entire structure built around him. So for me, that is equally bad money. We should just appreciate that this is A, B, C, D, and this is what we have set parameters. And for me, there should be a goodwill. Why is this statement coming out? Why didn't it come during elections? Why did you take all this long, before you were coming up with these statements? We should not, and as politicians, we lead people. We should avoid using some language that will just tear institutions that have actually helped us to be where we are. Okay. I'm sure that a lot of those people, without FDC, wouldn't have seen them. Many of them. Okay. They have contributed to the FDC, but the FDC has been good to them. I have contributed my youthfulness to DP, but DP has been good to me.
One last question, just in 1 minute. Do you think the FDC elections should be disorganized because of these? Because we're seeing Nadella saying the elections are going to go on. We're seeing Ibrahim Sebujuganda saying no, we must sit as a party first. Do you think elections should be disorganized because of this? For
me, our personal conflicts should not disorganize the processes of the party. Should not disorganize the growth of the party. Because at the end of the day, there are timelines. EC has issued a roadmap. There are timelines. And we as political parties, we even have the biggest challenges on how do we arrive at candidate, how do we find means to find candidates, what do we do? So for me, I think the answer is within the FDC sitting together to appreciate, harmonize, and walk the way.
Unfortunately, our time has come to an end, unless you want to give any last remarks before we wrap up.
Yeah, I want to appreciate you, Family TV, and yourself for giving me this opportunity to speak about a very pertinent issue within our country. And I want to encourage Ugandans. We have our political party dispensations. Let's work within the parties. Let's build Uganda, because all of us have a role to play. God, the Lord Almighty, positioned us in these positions to use these positions to make our country better.
True.
And I believe that there are processes of the government, and I want to encourage all Democrats and Ugandans out there, benefit from the processes of the government, because there is a government of the day where we pay taxes to, and all programs, PDM, whatever programs, Operation Wealth Creation and all those, they are shortcomings, but we believe that those programs are there. Benefit from these programs so that the government that you want will find when you have life.
We won't go past that. Thank you so much, Honorable Siranda from the Democratic Party, Secretary General, Democratic Party, and of course, member of IPOD. Thank you so much for being a good guest and bringing us a very beautiful discussion. My name is Carol Nowamani. Thank you so much for being a part of Issues at Hand. And from myself and the production crew, it is a